Alex Murdaugh has now been led back into custody, guilty on all charges so far. Count 1, murder of Margaret Maggie Murdaugh, his wife, guilty. Murder of Paul Murdaugh, his son, guilty. Possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime for Maggie's murder, guilty. Possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, murder of Paul, his son, guilty as well. We'll keep listening to the judge, see if any news is made. And with that, we'll bring in Brian Entin, who is outside the courtroom. Brian, in cases like this, it becomes an enormous spectacle in the entire town. This was a case that took over the whole state, in some ways, the nation. Just describe the response outside to the verdict being read.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just very, very quiet out here. Everybody's been listening. I think people are still taking it in. You know, there's a lot of people in this town and this region, Leland, that didn't think this would happen because of the power that this family had for so long. Let's not forget that the Murdaugh family ruled over this courthouse for generations. You know, so many family members served in the solicitor role here. So people just thought there's no way that this day will come. And here we are, guilty on all counts. I was watching so closely. I thought it was interesting. Alex Murdaugh seemed sort of frozen, maybe in shock. I didn't see any tears. He cried so much throughout the trial. I mean, he was like crying every day, it felt like. But there were no tears today. He just sort of just stood straight ahead. And then I noticed his son, Buster. You may have spotted him with the red hair. He was sitting behind his dad a couple of rows. And I was looking closely at him, too, to see if he was emotional. And he kind of had a similar look to his dad. I think probably just shock. You know, I don't necessarily think they expected it to happen this quickly. Again, just 3 hours, but guilty on all counts.
As you noted, Alex Murdaugh tried cases in this courtroom. His ancestors, his grandfather, father, and the like, had been the prosecutor in this county, in this courtroom. The fall from grace is sort of unthinkable in the way that this has happened. On the other hand, it proves that justice in America can work. You can be the most powerful family in the city or in the county, and now all of a sudden you are in the jail having been convicted of murder. You made some great points about the reaction of his son, Buster. You think about him, his brother's dead, his mom's dead, and his father is now going to jail for somewhere between 30 years to life for their murders. What do you make, Brian, and how did the fact that the death penalty was taken off the table by the prosecution play into this?
You know, I've thought about that. It's interesting. I don't really know what to make of it. I think that it never came up throughout the trial. I haven't heard a lot of people here saying that they wanted to see death. That hasn't been something that people in the community talked about. Mainly, they just wanted to see him behind bars. And what's interesting is that, you know, he didn't have much to lose because he's facing life to so many of these financial crimes. He stole from so many of his clients when he was a lawyer. He was already facing life to these crimes that he'd admitted. And what's interesting is the talk in the town is the reason he fought so hard in this murder trial, even though he was already likely going to jail for life for the financial crimes, is because they wanted to restore the family name. I mean, they have had this long time power in the town. Everybody knows the Murdaughs. And then it all, you know, went downhill very, very quickly. And they felt like if they could win this, it would help restore some of the prestige. And that's why it was worth it to them to go through this whole process, even though they knew he was likely already going to jail for life for the financial crimes. So I'm just standing here thinking about, you know, what the family must be thinking, the sentencing tomorrow. You know, Buster's probably going to get on the stand. His dad now convicted of murdering his mom and brother, and he's probably going to get up there and fight to, you know, have a reduced sentence or still stand by his dad, just like he did through the trial.
Yeah, 30 years, they said, was the minimum, as you point out. It's amazing sort of what's going to happen now, because there are all these financial crimes that he admitted on the stand to committing under oath. It's hard to imagine how you would have a trial then on the rest of these crimes. The sentencing for those will come at a later date. Tomorrow we're only dealing with the murders. In that sense, Brian, will the people he stole from and their families, you pointed out it's a very powerful family in South Carolina, the Murdaughs, but not everybody loved him. And certainly after he stole millions upon millions from multiple different clients, there's a lot of people who are very angry. Is there ever going to be justice for them? Will they get their day in court? even though he's been convicted of murder?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. And I was just thinking about all of those victims when they were reading the verdict, because, of course, Maggie and Paul are the victims in this case. But the people who he's now admitted to stealing from for decades, by the way, were poor people that either got in car accidents or fell on the job, personal injury cases, that would show up to his big fancy law firm in the town, the big, beautiful building. Everybody thought they were so special and prestigious. That was the law firm to go to here. They would show up. They thought that he was going to fight for them. And that's what he told them he was going to do, put on a really good show. And then he stole all their settlement money. He would give them a small percentage, say, oh, this is all you got. But secretly, they got way more. And he was stealing the money and putting it into a secret bank account. And there are a lot of those people. I mean, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of victims, Brian, all in this area. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get to Ashley Banfield in 1 second. But were any of those victims around the courthouse as you were doing your reporting and talking to folks? Would people come up and go, gee, you know, he stole from my dad or from me or from my aunt? And people just wanted to see him finally get some justice because they're never going to get their money back.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. There have been so many of them. We've interviewed them. They've been all around the courthouse. Their lawyers show up and talk to us that now they've got new lawyers trying to get some of the money back. So you've got to imagine for them, there's a bit of satisfaction here because many of them still don't have a lot of money.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.